Okay, so whether you are a leader interested in strategic innovation, or if you are a student or a designer interested in learning how to innovate with speed and simplicity, or if you are a startup interested in learning your value and opportunity in the marketplace, then these videos are for you. My name is Bernard Schockman. I'm coming to you from Tweed Heads today on the border of New South Wales and Queensland on the east coast of Australia. Okay, so today I want to start getting into the techniques that we use inside billboard design thinking. And the first one I want to talk about is what we call the problem matrix or the challenge. Okay, so you will notice that there is an X and Y axis on this problem matrix or challenge quadrant. And the idea of the axes is to label them with labels that are relevant to how you want to grade your problems. So what I would actually suggest in actually doing a problem matrix or a challenge quadrant is actually not to start with the problem matrix challenge quadrant first. And the reason for that is because people generally tend to grade all of their problems as being high severity. So a way to actually transition into the problem matrix challenge quadrant is to just use your note and vote technique. So we're talking about a stack of post-it notes and a black Sharpie, and in a round robin style, get your participants to unpack the potential problems or the problems they see in this particular problem area, and get them just to unpack them one at a time onto a wall. Once you've actually got them onto a wall, what I would recommend doing then is to use your voting technique to identify the items. So a voting technique is just getting participants to select a subset of the total number of post-it notes up there. So if we've got 30 post-it notes, it might be 5 they get to choose from. And what this does is it gives us a scattering of where the participants as a group believe the actual core of the problems lie. And of course you'll get a winner, so you get some sort of prioritization from most votes to least amount of votes. Then what I'd recommend is actually putting them onto the problem matrix or challenge quadrant, because then participants have less of a, they're using the subset rather than the entire set to actually lay them out. Now let's talk about that problem matrix again. We've got an X and a Y axis, and what you can generally do is you can, for instance, label those axes as, is it doable by us as an organization, and what is the complexity in doing that? So by getting the low complexity and the highly doable ones, you're actually then now zeroing down on the things you can actually do as an organization. Okay, so where can it go wrong? Where things typically go wrong in a design thinking or a sprint workshop is when you don't follow the rules. As simple as it sounds, and this is the same case in your agile methodology, when you're just not doing the practices as recommended, that's where it generally goes wrong. So where you can go wrong in this technique is if you don't follow that round robin style and you let people speak haphazardly whenever they want to. No. What you want to do is let each individual have their say, go round in that circle and keep and stick with that sort of rhythm. Don't jump around and let people break that cycle. The other thing that's I would highly recommend is to use the same colored post-it notes and the same colored Sharpie. It's very difficult then for people to identify what each individual has written, because quite often people will graduate towards different colors, different pens, different writing styles, and you want to keep things as unbiased as possible. Okay, so that was the challenge quadrant or problem matrix. This is a core fundamental foundational technique, and this is what we want to spend a lot of time identifying before we move on to the next step in our billboard design. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. I'll be back again tomorrow with another technique. Look forward to chatting with you then. Bye-bye.